Hey guys, what's up? Nicky D here. Today I'm going to show you how to wire up your 500 watt LED chip or panel. This is what it looks like. This is the front. This is what it looks like from the back. Yes, I actually took mine apart so I can do this for you guys. This is what it looks like. I'm going to put that right there for now. This is the heatsink that I will be using. You don't have to use this specific heatsink. However, you can use anyone that has a lot of fins, aka a lot of surface area. I have a power supply which I'll be using it to power up. This is a 500 watt 72 volt power supply, and this is what it looks like from the front. Now you may be asking yourself, what in the hell do these mean? FC, FG, and AC, what does that mean? Well, I'm going to explain that when I get there. And the lens, a lot of people have been asking about the lens. Where I got the lens from is where I got the LED from. I asked the seller on eBay where I can get, if he had a lens for it. Luckily he did, and he sold me this for 20 bucks, which is not a bad deal when you think about it. There we go. Quite a large lens too, and got me this frame. That's what it looks like from the back. Still have the tape on it too, so let's put that back, and I'll be mounting that later. Now you can use any wire. I like to use speaker wire because it's what I've been using for all my LED projects, so I'm just going to continue using it. Now what I'm going to show you is a basic setup, as in a basic switch, power supply, LED, and cooling, and a simple way to cool it. So, enough about me talking, let's get on with this video. Alright, first thing you want to do, well, the way I like to do, is, well, first you're going to need a few basic tools. Here I have this cable stripper, wire stripper, crimpers, because you're going to be crimping. Obviously got to have terminal clips, a soldering iron, whatever you guys call it nowadays. Yeah, a multimeter. I'll be showing that later after we hook that up, and an Allen key set for the lens, and possibly for the LED screws to go into the heatsink. Now, first thing you want to do is grab your heatsink, put that right in the center if you guys can see it. Alright, yes you can. And what you want to do is take this, put it right here. Oh shit. And then mark the holes where the screw holes are going to be. In my case, I already drilled them out and I already tapped them. Once you mark it and drill it, I recommend using a drill press so you can get perfectly straight holes. And after you do that nonsense, then you're left with this. You're left with that. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 screw holes. Alright, so let's put that aside. Now let's wire up your LED. That's always the fun part. Now take your wire, in my case speaker wire, turn the lamp. Alright, now if you look really closely right here, you can see this is the plus sign. However, it's closer to here, but that does not mean this is the plus. If you follow this right here, you can see that there's a little connection goes all the way down here and across. That means this whole side is positive, and then this whole side right here is negative. You can kind of see a little bit more up close. Right there, you can see like right there, there's a little break. That means that they are not connected. Same thing over on this side too. You can see it's break. So this whole side is positive, this whole side is negative. Alright, I just wanted to show you guys that, so a little quick detail for you. What you want to do is take your wire and strip it. You want bare wire showing. In this case, this wire has a little thin layer of plastic, so just kind of scrape it off. Do that to both sides, just like that. Alright, there you go. That's good right about there. Alright, for me, in my case, I like to use the wording. This camera would focus. I like to use the wording as the negative, so I'm going to use this as the negative. So, what you're going to do is twist the wire up so you can get as tight of a wire as possible, and take this, and then I like to try and fit it through one of the holes. You don't have to do this. In my case, I kind of don't want to. I don't feel like struggling through it. Alright, stop the fast forward at this time. Alright, so you take your soldering iron, take it, make sure it's all the way heated up. Yeah, let's grab this, bring it over here. Now you want it to be at least 350 degrees. There you go. I think it would help if you guys can see it. You want it at 350 degrees Celsius, or roughly 700 Fahrenheit. Alright, so what you want to, first thing you got to do to keep the tip lasting a long time is tin it. What we like to call tin the tip. All the soldering electronics nerds know that. Yeah, you got a nice, pretty, shiny tip, if you know what I'm saying. Alright, now what you got to do is put this on, put it on the terminal, heat it up for a couple seconds, then apply a little bit of solder. So I have a little puddle like that. I think it would help if you guys can see it. And then what you want to do is take it and put a little bit of solder just like that. And there you go. Now you can repeat this step for the other side. Alright, there we go. Alright, there we go. Then we take our wire. You can tin it as well. You don't have to though. I recommend it, but in my case I'm not going to. And then simply put the wire, heat this up first. Be very careful about it, about the heat. This can burn you easily. Put the wire, hold on for a few seconds. Feel free to add a little bit more solder. Don't be afraid to use it. There we go. The more the merrier. Yeah. And just want out a little bit more. There we go. I know that wasn't the best, but it'll hold. This is what it's gonna look like roughly. You want to make sure it's pretty strong, so kind of tug at it a bit. If it falls off, then you got to redo it. If it doesn't, then you're a step forward. All right. So now you're done with soldering. So now we can just kill it. There we go. You can move that aside because we're done with it. Move that over there. All right. There we go. So now, at this point, this is when your crimpers come into play. Same thing with your terminal strip. So put that right there, move that up forward a little bit. Alright. Let's try and find out the piece I'm looking for. There we go. You want to find a couple of these guys right here. Alright, so just grab 2 of those guys, put them right here, and strip them. Same thing as before, twist it, trying to get a tight bundle. If you have the yellow one, if you have the yellow connector, such as this one, use it, because also it's going to be a tight fit. That is if using speaker wire. Alright, so once you put it on, grip it. There we go. Tug at it, make sure it doesn't come off. Repeat the process on the other side. There we go. Alright, so now you got your basic setup. Now you can grab a switch, and you only need one side. So hook it up to one side of the switch, like so. Then take your other piece of wire, like that. And repeat the process, do it on both sides. There we go. After you've done all that, then you can take this, the other from one of the wire that you just crimped, hook it up to the other side, the same side. You can see my switch has 2 different sides. These are not connected, so be sure that you put it on the same side that it is connected. So if I put it over here, it's good. If I put it over here, it's not good, because it's not going to work. If I put it over here, there, now it's going to work. Alright, so now you did that, I like to have these like this. So when you do hook it up to a battery pack, which is what I'm going to do in a later video, you know, I can use something like this to hook it up quick and easy. So now, after we've done all this, move that aside, move this in front, because now this is in. Now we're going to play with this thing. Alright, so let's talk about this. Now, what in the hell do these mean? Well, let me tell you. Alright, the LAC right here means live and then alternating current. This one means neutral alternating current. Now this one is frame ground, FG. And this is ground 1, 2, 3, DC plus 2, 1 and 2. Right here is your voltage adjustment. I don't know what that means. I'm assuming that one's current. So let's hook this one up, shall we? Alright. What you want to do is take a cord, cut it, take a cord that you're not going to use anymore, cut it, strip it like this, and then now instead of crimping this one, you don't have to, because you got the screw terminals. This is a little pain in the you-know-what. So what I'm going to do is take a screwdriver, take these off all the way. You don't have to. I like to bring it around the screw, like that. And then just simply screw it in. There. Doesn't have to be tight, just snug. There we go. So now you have the green wire going to the frame ground. You have the neutral line. This doesn't really matter because it's AC. Then you have these 2 wires hooked up. As long as you have these 2 wires hooked up on the AC line, you're good to go. So now you want to make yourself one of these. Take small wire, crimp it on one end, and strip it on the other end. I've already done that. Take it, twist it, same thing with the other one. You want 2 of these. See, I already have them pre-made. You want to use the male end which is this guy. Focus there. There you want to use the male end. Same thing with both of them, because you have the female right here. So now let's hook this one up. Now this one kinda, it does matter because now you're dealing with DC. You've already dealt with the AC line, which is here. You want to do with DC, just like this guy. Now I'm going to be using the black as negative. So now let's take this, and the negative is ground. So just take the wire, grab it, and wrap it around the screw, like so. Kind of like where it grabs it on. Take it on, put it back on, screw it down snug. Just like that. Repeat the process on the other end. Take your screw, wrap it around, like so. You want a nice tight hug. Alright, here we go. I have all these wired up. Alright, now we're done with the electronics part, pretty much. Now, let's move back over to the LED. Alright, this was a little bit tricky for me, however I found a way to do it. What you want to do is screw down your LED. After you drill your holes, screw it down. In my case, I already drilled them out. You want to use screws that are smaller than these holes, but the head is bigger, so it doesn't just fall through the hole. And after you do that, you want to... Oh crap, I'm missing a very important step. Don't forget this. It's very important. Thermal paste. There. Now, there are a lot of people who say a little dab is good. However, that is if you're using the good kind. In my case, this is not so good. This is a cheap brand. So, for me, I like to be better to be safe than sorry, and just use a lot. There you go. Don't be afraid to use it. There you go, that should be enough, right? Alright, there you go. You don't have to worry about like rubbing it in or like that stuff. It's gonna smush its stuff down once you screw it down on here. So after you put a lot of thermal paste on it, you can put a dab if you want. I just like to fill up the whole thing just so I can get the maximum thermal conductivity as possible. Take it, kind of like to move it around a bit, smear it around. Alright, there we go. Take one of your screws and got to twist this 90 degrees because this way my LED is going to be set up, so otherwise just simply going off this side. Screw it down a little snug, just back off a little bit so in case if you need to move it around a bit. Alright, here we go. Alright, now after you get all screws in, now you have them on loosely. Now you just do each one, tight each one individually a little bit. Alright, then what you do is you take your lens. You just put it over the LED itself, and then you have a drill press, or you have a drill bit of some sort. We can use an Allen key. I recommend drill bits though, because then and a drill press. So you can just simply go through the hole that they provided for you, right down and into your heatsink. Now, if you get the same exact lens as I do, this is a 2.5 millimeters. Well, the Allen key is 2.5 millimeters, but I'm but this is a 2 mil screw. So you want a 2 mil drill bit, screw down about an inch. Do that on all sides. Once you do that, you're left with, in my case, 3 holes. Got 2 on the other side, 1 right here. There's going to be 1 right here. However, I don't feel like cutting a hole on the side for the wires, so I just have it coming out the back. Like that. Alright, so once you've done that, you place this over top. Just make sure you got a good connection. Last time you've seen it. So put that. Carefully take your lens, put it over top. And you take the lens plate, put it over top, like so. And then finding holes is the tricky part. So then you take Allen key sets. Now you want to go with the millimeter set, the metric set. Open it up, pull it out. Now you want the 2.5 millimeter, which is this guy right here. So let's grab this guy, pull it out. And start with this one first because I'm having a little trouble with this one. Alright, stop fast forward. Alright, so once you get all the screws screwed down, you'll just want to have it snug. No need to have it tight. You don't want to strip the aluminium. Heatsink. And boom. There you go. You have it all set. Now if you wanna upgrade it to the premium, you could put a thermal switch and you can have it turn on at 110 degrees. This one is 125 degrees Fahrenheit. Have it turned on at that. You can put a little fan right here. And once you do that, you don't have to do it though. That is if you're not going to have this on for long periods of time or you have adequate cooling already. Alright. So now you have this all. Now you should have all this done by now. You should have the lens, the LED itself mounted on the heatsink. Should have wire going to a switch. And then you should be left with 2 wires like this. And plus you should already have this all wired up with this ready to be plugged in. But before we do plug it in, let's wire this guy up, shall we? So now we take the wire right here. We follow the negative part. This is the negative. You want to hook this up to the ground, like so. Then you want to hook this guy up and hook this one up with the positive ends. Now I have to spread them apart. Make sure they don't touch. If you do, you get a big spark. Alright, so now let's make sure that this is off. And so I don't blind myself, let's point it towards this way. So now, let's plug her in. There you go. Ooh, man, that's bright. Alright, so let's point it towards this way. And then, while it's running, we'll take some measurements. There it is. So now, let's get out this guy. Put it right over here. We'll turn it to direct current, which is the line, which is that right there. Take your leads. Take your 2 leads. Turn the light on. And then we'll measure that. We're reading 68 point. There. Hold. There. Turn it off. There. That is what we're reading on the output. However, since it is off, we should get a little bit higher reading now. In this case, we get 75 volts. So that means if we do the math, we got 68.5 when the LED is on and 75. So that means a voltage drop of 7 volts for an LED. There. And if you want to measure current, just measure how many amps is pulling. So first thing you want to do, unplug it, turn it on, drain it. And this does take a while. Here, I'll show you guys. Alright, we dropped down to a pretty low voltage. So now let's wire this thing up for measuring current. So let's turn it off so we don't waste power. And here's where it gets a little tricky. If you have alligator clips, it's awesome. But here's what I will do, because I don't have alligator clips. What I'm going to do is take one of these guys off. Well, I don't have to take it off. Take one end, stick it in here, don't say it, and clamp it down. So now you have one end going here. You're going to have it going through the multimeter. Make sure you switch this over from here over to measuring current. And I recommend getting, if you have it fused, that's awesome. If not, it's kind of your luck. And just take it and stick it right in there. And there you go. Now you're ready to measure current. So now, let's plug it back in. Make sure you have it off, like so. Plug it in. Turn this over to current. Move this forward a bit. Alright, so now turn it on. There. 7.3 amps. So now let's get our trusty calculator out. Just give me 1 second. Alright. So we get our calculator out. You take 68.5. Start over. Take 68.5 times that by 7.3. That gives us a power consumption of 500.5 watts. So this thing's right on the money. And if you don't know how to measure watts, you just take the volts, times that by current, and that gives you the watts. And that's pretty much how to wire a basic setup for your 500 watt LED light. So I hope you find this very helpful, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments below. Now, I'm not sure if you're following, but if not, I do plan on making this a portable version. I will be adding this along with the battery pack in with my flashlight. I'm going to be making it a 48 volt 20 amp hour battery pack using 18650 lithium ion batteries. So please stay tuned for that, as I'm waiting on parts and all that fancy fun stuff to come in from China. Got all that stuff coming from China because it takes over a month to come here. And once it's done, there. Alright, so that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. Hope you find this helpful, and we'll see you next time when this thing gets progressed and I make batteries in aluminum enclosure. Stay tuned.